month, and it's pretty fun times.
Like a support group?
That's exactly what we call one of our event series.
Really?
Yes.
Very cool.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
The question I have is, sorry for sidetracked. I've had to deal with a lot of flack from people who think they can do it better than I do. And as someone who does charity work and runs a fantastic event every year, the Kitchen West event, because obviously everybody will sign up for it now.
Thank you for that plug.
You're welcome.
I'll give you $50 when we're done.
How do you deal with people who defame you or like try to drag you down?
Or who do like really creepy photo manipulations?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, how do you deal with those types of people, and how do you deal with like reclaiming your good name?
Well, that sort of
I know.
presumes that the name was good to start with. Reclaim is maybe the wrong choice of words, but when I first got on the show, and first sort of had the experience of seeing myself talked about on the internet, like after an episode, I'm talking like season 4, after an episode would air, I was sort of wondering, like, when are they going to kill me off? When are the fans going to start hating me and they're going to kill me off? And I would go online and see, like, after an episode I was in, and I would see people say, I hate that guy's stupid voice, something, whatever, and it would be like a knife in the heart. Like, I just couldn't, and it would be, typically it'd be like 50 either neutral or positive comments, and then 1 negative comment, but the positive and neutral comments, they were invisible to me. Only the negative comments would be the ones that I would pay attention to. But now, just having had that experience of, having people talk one way or another for a few years, it's a little bit more water off a duck's back kind of thing. Like, it doesn't impact me quite as much. Every once in a while, somebody will like forward me something that they saw online or something, and it'll kind of like boil my blood a little bit. Like, I saw something actually yesterday. Somebody forwarded me something where someone was basically saying, like, what the hell did they do with this project in Haiti? Look, they've got all these pictures of kids, like, from 2 years ago, but now we're hearing that they're only just now getting orphans in the orphanage. And so what is this? The numbers just don't add up. It's all just like a bullshit photo op kind of thing. And it's all I can do to not, like, get on and write a scathing response, like, go to hell, F you. The truth is that center it has just gotten residents in it, but it's Haiti, and it takes fucking 3 years to get an electrician to show up. Like, it's really hard. And the whole time, that facility has been feeding hundreds of kids in the community. So while people haven't been living there, it's been used, and also, P.S., fuck you to that person. But it's also so when it's something that I feel like personally invested in or I care about, it's a little hard to bite your tongue. But at the same time, I think typically engaging negativity is not a winning tactic. Usually, I find things kind of go away if you don't engage them, and unless it's something, every once in a while somebody has like made a point that I feel is kind of valid, and I feel like I want to try to address it because it's kind of on point. Anyway, I'm really rambling. I'm sorry. Thank you. Hi.
Hey. So, I was wondering what your worst non-acting job was.
Ooh. I have not had a lot of bad jobs because I find that I'm constitutionally unable to do something that I hate, I discovered. I've done a few things that were tough. I was just talking about it recently. I did some volunteer work in Nicaragua about 10 years ago that involved, it was about 100 degrees, and 90% humidity, and I was in a crawl space in an attic demolishing a cinder block wall with a sledgehammer that had the handle cut off because it was too tight to swing a full-size sledgehammer. That was kind of not a great job. I had a job at a restaurant right after I got out of college. I got a job in Washington, D.C. at a restaurant, and I was training to be a waiter, and I made it 3 days into the training, and there was a 5-day training program, and I was doing pretty good. I was 3 days in, and the manager said, "Hey, Misha, come here for a second. Are you growing a beard?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, you need to come to work clean shaven." And so I said, "Oh, okay." Then I quit. Because I didn't like the way he was talking to me. I had another job in college. I delivered pizza, which, by the way, on a college campus is an incredibly lucrative job. It was a really good job. And one day, at the end of the night, you had to hand over a wad of bills. And I handed over a wad of bills out of my pocket. It was all crumpled up. And he said, "Misha," he took the money. He showed it to me. "This, Misha, you see this green stuff? It's money. You need to respect it by folding it properly." And I said, "Oh, okay, then I quit." Because I didn't like the way he was talking. I kind of didn't really like my job at the White House very much. I found it super boring. But they weren't really paying me because I was an intern. So I kind of felt like I don't really have to do the work that they're asking me to do. So I tried to do what I thought was interesting projects. So I went.
Oh no.
I look back on myself, like, had I hired me, if I hired someone like myself now, I would be so angry. I would be like, this is a useless person that I hired. I was going to the presidential library in the White House doing research for what I thought would be good talking points for the president. No, he did not want me doing that. No. But I thought, that's more interesting than writing form letters and figuring out how to do mail merge and Word documents. So that job, what I was assigned to do was not interesting. What I ended up doing was kind of past the time. The worst job I ever had was when I was 11, and it was my first real job. Where it was like paid by the hour kind of thing. It was $1.35 an hour, I believe, was what I was getting paid. And this is not me being, racialist. We were working on a farm on what was called a Polish butterfly. And it's this weird tractor apparatus that looks kind of like a tractor with biplane wings on it. And you lie on your stomach, and it dries very slowly, and you pick cucumbers lying on your belly as you drive by. And that job was not great. And after 2 days, I quit. It's about how long I seem to last. So yeah. How about you? Have you had bad jobs?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
How is that possible?
I have not been employed officially yet.
What? How old are you?
19.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry.
You have to get a job. Go right now and get a shitty job so you can have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a resume.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I'm glad we had this conversation.
Yeah.
Speaking of shitty jobs, Misha, I would like to work for you.
What do you say?
Yeah, I think having jobs is a good thing. I've always been very tenacious, precocious when it came to jobs. I had a job when I was 9. I got my first paper route. I've told this story before, but I won't tell it again. I don't know why I'm telling so many stories. I'm just passing the time. So when I was 9, I had this paper route. And it was great because I made good money. I had to get up really early. I had to get up before school and, in the wintertime, long before the sun came up. And I would go around the neighborhood and deliver these papers. But I was making money. I was making enough money to buy as much junk food as I wanted. So when I was 9, I weighed so much. I was so enormously fat because all I did was I took all of my paper route money and I bought junk food. So I literally weighed I think by the time I was 11, I weighed the same as what I weighed when I went to college. And it was all paper route money that I didn't enable that to happen. And, but I got a little bit greedy, and there was this free paper called the Town Crier in town. My friend from Greenfield, are you here? No, there was a woman who went to my grammar school here yesterday. But anyway, we had the Town Crier. That was a free paper, and I would deliver the Town Crier, but then I realized it's a free paper. Nobody cares about that. So I would just throw them in a dumpster. So I've got a big
He
photo
needs
of
his
papers
seat back
that
because
go in a
she's
dumpster.
here for her seat.
And then my little brother, so at that point, I think I was maybe 11. My little brother was 9, and he was like, well, this is easy money. I'm going to get me a paper out too with the Town Crier. And he followed his brother's lead, and he would take his papers.
Yeah.
He was delivering this little housing development, and he'd take his papers, and he'd do something similar. And then spring came, and the snowbank where he had been burying his papers melted, and we both got fired.
Coincidentally, the only job that I've had is working for my school's paper.
Oh, see? It all came together. I'm glad I brought that up. All right. Hi.
Hi, Misha. My name's Michaela.
Hi, Michaela.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
So I wanted to ask you, back in, I think, 2013 at VanCon, you talked a little bit about your experience in your adolescence with depression and self-injury. And at least for me, that's had a huge impact on me. This is very intimidating. What is it like to know that you've helped people through very difficult times in their life?
I would say that one of the coolest and most unexpected aspects of this job, working on this show that seems to have attracted an audience that have a lot of people in it that struggle. Like, it's a community of people who all seem to, not to a person, but there's a community of people that has a lot of people who have had difficulties in one form or another in life. Maybe every community is full of people like that. But this show has served as, I don't know, as something of a life preserver, lifesaver for a lot of people. And that is nothing that I ever imagined could have happened. And hearing stories like yours is so enormously humbling and is so immensely gratifying. I mean, on the face of it, there's nothing to, like, yeah, I had a hard time, right? Like, big deal. So did so many other people. But to hear, like, that because of the place that I happen to be in this community, that somehow has an impact on people is really amazing and humbling, and definitely makes me want to be a better person. So thank you for sharing that with me, and thank you for being here. Yes. Thank you. Good, you're an excellent hugger, by the way. Almost as good as you, Rob.
I try.
Well, we have time for one more question.
One more question. Here we
Hello,
go.
one more question here. What?
You know, you people don't control us. You want a song, don't you? Okay, gentlemen, let's dust off that old chestnut. This is the last song. This is literally the last song of the con.
Last question of the call.
I mean, sorry, last song. Last question of the con. Let's do it. Start it. Here we go.
It's the last question. It's the last question. The last question. The last question.
So much pressure on you. You see, everyone here has a question too, but now they're putting all their hopes and dreams on you. I certainly hope it blows us away. Everyone? And have Rob point at you in a creepy way. What?
So,
I was looking at the buttons.
Yeah. Make it nice. Tie your laces together. Yes, good. This is
I was looking at the buttons, Rich.
I bet you were. Don't you worry about anything. Just tie those laces together, Junior. All right. Now, do you have your wallet with you? There's your phone. Cool. What's your pass? Oh, you have to power it on. No. You're tweeting, you're texting yourself. Sing that, and then we'll start over. What's the question?
Yeah, so she has her question written right here, in case she forgets what it is. But now I've taken her question away from her.
Now, make you her home screen while she asks her question. You. What's your name?
Taylor.
Hi Taylor, what's your question?
So,
Yeah, now, make that her home screen.
Uses wallpaper.
Yeah.
See if you can cut Rich out. Just zoom in and move over.
Rob, we're ignoring you, Rob. We're in a happy place. That's nice. All right, cool. All right, now, what's your question?
so we've heard a lot of stories about
Film this. Wow, there you go.
we've heard a lot of stories about you guys having We've heard a lot of stories about you guys having to improvise scenes if the script wasn't quite working out. I wanted to know what your favorite scene was that was actually improvised.
This one.
Favorite improvised scene, Misha?
The question's to you.
Wait, I have to answer this question? Oh, well, this is no fun! What is, God, we don't really improvise that much on the show, the truth is.
You're looking at Rich. He hasn't been on the show in years.
We improvised, I think one of the big things that we improvised that may have been like impacted things sort of as a ripple effect is the whole, all of the angels falling from heaven thing. That we just improvised at the last minute.
Someone had a shadow of the wing. And you're like, oh, this is good. Roll camera. I got an idea.
So yeah.